Imagine this. You're 58 years old, you're a pilot. Flying has been your career, your identity, your income for decades. Then one medical report changes everything. You're no longer medically fit to fly. Not next year, not in 5 years, now. Overnight, your income stops, not because you chose to retire, but because you were forced to. The real shock isn't losing the job, it's losing control. Because now the questions aren't theoretical anymore. Can we retire now? How much can we safely spend each month? Will our money last if we live longer than expected? And then something happens to me, will my wife be okay? This is where retirement planning stops being academic and starts becoming really practical. For more than 15 years, I've helped families structure their portfolios, reduce tax, and design retirements that they actually dream about. Quick disclaimer before we start, please remember this video is for educational purposes only and it doesn't constitute personal financial advice. Always consult a qualified financial planner before making any big financial decisions. And before we get into it, if you value clear, practical guidance that helps you keep more of what you've worked so hard for, please like this video and subscribe to the Family Wealth YouTube channel. It really helps us reach more South Africans who are trying to retire with confidence and not confusion. For most of our working lives, the question is simple. How much can I save? But forced retirement flips that question overnight. Now it becomes, how do I make what I've saved last starting earlier than planned? At 58, that shift is even harder. Markets don't pause, inflation doesn't pause, and income still has to come from somewhere. Let's use a practical example. Pete and Sally are both 58 years old. Pete is a pilot who is medically forced to retire. He can no longer fly, and his employment income stops immediately. Together, they've saved approximately 16.5 million rand. The question isn't whether they did a good job of saving. The question is, how do we turn this into sustainable income without putting the rest of our lives at risk? At Family Wealth Custodians, we don't see retirement as one long static phase. We plan for it in 3 strategic phases. We call this the go-go years, when you're still active and want to enjoy life. The slow-go years, when spending naturally starts tapering off. And the no-go years, when healthcare becomes the dominant cost. At 58, those phases suddenly become much longer, and that matters. For Pete and Sally, we decided to plan conservatively until the age of 95. In today's after-tax money, their income needs looks roughly as follows. In the early go-go years, they need about 65,000 rand per month. In the middle or slow-go years, that reduces to approximately 55,000 rand per month. And later in life, the no-go years, they need approximately 50,000 rand per month. All of these amounts increase over time with inflation and rising healthcare costs. For Pete and Sally, we created multiple scenarios, looking at different market conditions, inflation environments, and withdrawal strategies. In some scenarios, they had more than enough to retire. In others, they didn't. That's exactly why having a plan matters. And more importantly, why you need guardrails. A system that allows you to adjust income as circumstances change, instead of guessing or reacting in panic. One of the biggest mistakes I see in situations like this is drawing all your retirement income from one source, usually a living annuity. That's dangerous. Living annuity income is taxed like a salary, and once income becomes concentrated in one place, flexibility disappears. A resilient retirement plan uses multiple income sources: annuity income, investment income, tax-free income. Where your income comes from matters just as much as how much you actually have. That's why proper retirement tax planning is one of the most important parts of your retirement master plan, and also one of the areas where we see the most retirees fall short. Every rand saved in tax is rands that stay invested and goes towards funding your retirement. In fact, we've done a dedicated video that goes much deeper into the retirement tax planning strategies and income structuring. You'll find the link in the description below. Here's the reality that Pete and Sally face. Because Pete is forced to retire at 58, withdrawals start much earlier than planned. That means more years of withdrawals, less time for investments to compound, and greater pressure on the portfolio early on. This increases sequence of returns risk, the danger of withdrawing income while markets are down early in retirement. Losses early on can permanently weaken a plan. This is why retirement planning is never a once-off decision. We review plans regularly. We adjust withdrawals. We respond to markets and real spending. If markets perform well early, we can reduce risk. If conditions change, the strategy adapts. Here's the thing. Good planning doesn't remove uncertainty. It creates options. So now the question is, can Pete and Sally retire in South Africa with 16.5 million rand at the age of 58? The answer, possibly, but only with a structured income plan, realistic expectations, and ongoing reviews. But I can promise you one thing, if they don't have a plan, the odds of them having a successful retirement becomes very low. Retirement isn't just about having enough money. It's about having choices, even when life forces your hand. If you found this video helpful, do us a favor, subscribe to our channel. We have a goal of influencing as many South African retirees as we possibly can, and you can help make that happen. Thanks for watching. My name is Hadi Swart. This is Family Wealth. Keep investing into your future.